Today is recognized as National Recycling Day. It serves as a reminder to recycle and an opportunity to learn more about recycling. This morning we're joined by Marissa Begley with Millenium Recycling to talk about the day a little bit. Good morning.
Hi.
So let's talk about what you have here, kind of what you brought in to maybe talk a little bit about recycling.
Definitely. So when it comes to recycling, there's two rules that you always have to follow. The first rule is to look at your local guidelines. In Sioux Falls, we have single stream recycling. And if you go into any other community across the country, it might be some different rules. Most major cities have single stream recycling like Millenium does. And we try to break it down into four really simple categories. We have your paper and your cardboard. And that, surprisingly to some people, includes pizza boxes. A lot of people don't think pizza boxes are recyclable, but they are.
They are, okay.
Also metal cans, so like your pop cans, your soup cans, your vegetable cans. Glass bottles and jars are okay. And then plastic bottles, tubs, and jugs is the last category that we can accept in your single stream bin. Okay. And when it comes to plastic, do not look at the number, don't look at that triangle, just stick to bottles, tubs, and jugs, and then you know it's recyclable.
As people haven't recycled in the past and want to get into it, what are some easy, simple tips you have for people to get into recycling? Sure.
Well, that rule number one is very important. Always look at your local guide. It could be different. If you just moved here, it could be different from where you came from. Keeping it local is very important. It all depends on the location of the processor and who they send the materials to for processing. So it's all depending location and your access to recycling.
So here in Sioux Falls, I guess, what kind of makes it different than maybe other places as far as recycling guidelines?
We're actually pretty similar to a lot of the major cities across the country. If you go into smaller communities, some of them still do the source separated, where you have to have like 4 or 5 different bins at your home. And here we just have that one cart, which is what we call single stream. It's one single cart for recycling.
How does that make it very easy for people to pick up this habit? And ultimately, what's the benefit of recycling for a community, for everyone?
Yeah, it's actually estimated that recycling supplies 40% of the raw materials for U.S. manufacturing in general. So it's really important just to keep our domestic manufacturing going. It also is extending the life of our landfill. It's energy savings across all of these categories when you're using recycled versus raw materials, and we're preserving our natural resources.
What are some things that you guys do at Millenium to kind of encourage recycling or remind people of the importance of it?
Well, recently you've probably seen some press conferences with the city. We try to work with the communities that we serve. Sioux Falls is just one of the communities that Millenium serves. And the recent education we're trying to get out there is to do not bag your materials. One trick that I like to use is using a paper bag. So when you are ready to recycle, I just keep one of these in my kitchen. I fill it up, and when it's full, I toss the whole thing right in my recycling bin. This is what we do not want people to be doing. If you can imagine a big plastic bag comes in, we cannot see what's inside. And we actually have robots now that are pulling these out automatically.
Yes, talk a little bit about that, because I think that's so interesting now.
Yes.
When did this all come about with the robots doing
So
this?
we did a lot of research over the years, and we finally found some that we thought were worth the investment. So we invested last year, and we have just started turning them on to the full capacity as of today, actually.
Wow.
They're pulling out plastic bags, which is great. They're AI, so we're training them. One exception to our no bags rule is shredded paper. So a lot of people still shred, especially in Sioux Falls. We're a very data security conscious community, so people are shredding paper at home. If you're going to shred paper and recycle it, we just ask that it goes into a clear bag and you tie it shut. And those clear garbage bags are found at any retail store or grocery store.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.